Our Chicago Bulls sit at 4-7 on the season. But I want to go ahead and dive into one of the players on the Chicago Bulls that might be making a difference for the squad. That is Zach Lavine. On today's episode, me and CDubb will talk about how and why Zach Lavine is the difference maker for the Chicago Bulls moving forward into the season. And we talk about tonight's matchup versus the New York Knicks. Y'all already know we're going to talk about it and break it down, but you gotta hear the music first.
Cognac, gang.
Shy Bulls podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I am with my dog, CDubb. What's the word?
What's the word? How you feeling, nephew? Back. He older now. What up, nephew?
Definitely older. But hey, if y'all tuned in with us for the first time, welcome to the show. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn your bell on. For our family members, welcome back. CDubb. Now, the Chicago Bulls, they sit at 4-7 on the season. Keep in mind that Zach Lavine has not played 3 games out of the 11 games that the Chicago Bulls have played this season. In the games that Zach Lavine has played, the Chicago Bulls have an average record of 4-4. And on the season, my man Zach Lavine is averaging 22.5 points, shooting 52% from the field, 41% from the three, 5 rebounds, 3 assists on the season. I like to believe that Zach Lavine is definitely the difference maker to determine if the Chicago Bulls season turns out to be well or turns out to be shit. What is your thought process on that?
I think absolutely Zach Lavine is the difference maker, especially if you just putting your eyes to the television and watching the game, if you so happen to find where the game is being brought to you by, if you can find the right app or something like that. But Zach Lavine is a totally different player this year. I think he's been scoring at the right times. He's not spamming shots of late this season. I ain't caught him a lot of times just shooting incredibly stupid shots at certain points in the game. He does still have a problem with his ball handling a little bit. Turnovers is going to happen to anybody anyway. So he does have those big games with 7 turnovers and stuff like that. But he's locked in defensively. Did you see the defense he tried to play on Donovan Mitchell last game? I think he put out a A+ effort against Donovan Mitchell in last game. And I always said with his athleticism, he should be a pretty good defender, and that goes for any NBA player. If you got that type of athleticism, there's no reason you should not be a good defender. It all culminated into that game yesterday, and I'm talking about offense. The pace of Zach Lavine was something I haven't seen since he's been in Chicago yesterday against the Cavs. The guy took his time. He wasn't rushing. If he did see a little piece of daylight, he attacked it, got to the basket. The referees took away a thunderous jam where he looked like he jumped beyond the dotted and just threw it down so hard.
Bro.
Making incredible layups high off the glass, hitting turnaround jumpers, knocking threes down when you really need it. Just the pace. And making assists, too, in the clutch. He was making plays for others on the team. This is a totally different Zach Lavine. And I think you can attribute this to 2 things. One is Zach Lavine thinks he got a chip on his shoulder because a lot of people are talking down on his name like he really ain't talented like that, which is ridiculous that it came from that direction. And 2, he got the spacing. This is the type of team that a Zach Lavine can flourish in. I love DeMar DeRozan, but sometimes you hate DeMar DeRozan and his game. His game is Definitely. Like I said once before, Zach got in DeMar's way and DeMar got in Zach's way. Now without DeMar, Zach can flourish. He has all the space in the world. I think he's the leader. I think he's the leader on this team. I think we can put that to bed. I think that was a question we asked before the season and early in the season. Zach Lavine is on a different type of level this season. And I see it in his eyes. I see it in his pace. And I see it in his nomenclature on the court. Don't ask me what nomenclature is. I just heard somebody say it earlier. Nomenclature on the court was cold.
Your nomenclature is pretty much the description of what it is. And that so you good. So so if you sending out a box, and I learned this yesterday was Veterans Day. Shout out to my Air Force team. Hey, the nomenclature CDubb is if you sending out a box and the people that's trying to send it need a description. You gonna say this bitch a screw, this bitch a stapler, this bitch a weapon. You know what I'm saying?
10-4, 10-4.
That's what your nomenclature is. But I ain't even gonna hold you. It's Zach Lavine. He been doing everything that I've asked and more. I asked Zach Lavine to come in and be a professional, come out and hoop, take the, you know what I'm saying, come out and show people what it really is. Because like you mentioned in your take, a lot of people was acting like Zach Lavine wasn't the top 5 shooting guard. And I still think that the same could be said right now. No, he hasn't had a lot of success with the Chicago Bulls. Absolutely, the Chicago Bulls team is not the best suitor right now. But after you take Anthony Edwards, Devin Booker, and then maybe some other guys, maybe a Donovan Mitchell, it's a toss-up. You got to start looking. And I think you can definitely mention a Zach Lavine. My man's been doing exactly what he needs. CDubb, I tell you this, what's been the best thing that I seen out of Zach Lavine? Remember last year before we came into the season, Zach Lavine was working on that post move. It's kind of, I ain't gonna compare him to Kobe. Relax, guys. I'm not saying he's Kobe, but that dribble in the post, we're gonna turn around, shoot over you, is Kobe-esque. I'm not saying he's doing it to the level of a Kobe. I'm just saying, while he operating out of that post, it looks good. And he's hit a number of shots, you know what I'm saying, while settling down, taking his time in that space, and simply just rising up over guys and knocking it down. And the defensive side, you can't be too mad at him for what he has brought to the Chicago Bulls. He's absolutely been a difference maker for the Chicago Bulls. I think the professionalism that has come from Zach Lavine, we got to give him some credit on that. And the biggest thing is that he's living up to his word, CDubb. What was his word, y'all might ask? He said, I ain't going to stunt the growth for the young guys. Nope. Has he done anything on the basketball court to stunt the growth of the young guys? No. CDubb, Kobe White, in about, there's been 11 games played this season. Kobe White has about 6 games with him shooting over 5 threes and making them.
Yeah.
That ain't slowing him down. He ain't slowing Josh Giddey down for what he's been able to do. He not slowing Jalen Smith down. He's been living up to his word. And you got to shake his hand on that and give him some credit for sure.
Oh, bro. And then I'll just throw this at you. And I'm going to just guess off the head. I don't have the stats in front of me. I don't even feel like looking it up and Googling it. I would bet there's not a game this season that Zach Lavine has the most shots on the team. I will bet you. And I don't think anybody would think that's far-fetched. I think we're looking at a new, mature, and I said this before the season, this is a time for Zach Lavine to mature. I think we're looking at a mature, primed Zach Lavine who can get buckets 3 levels of the court. He's playing defense. I see Zach Lavine in a stance. I even mistaken him for Alonzo Ball in the game that just passed. Like that Lonzo, because I know Lonzo going to get in a defensive stance. No, that was Zach. Lonzo's still out. So, man, I know some teams like, damn, we should have went and got, but the price probably going up, bro.
The price is going up.
It's going up. Hey, both prices going up. Nick Vooch and Zach is going up.
Hey, that's a fact. Price is definitely going up for both of those players. But with Zach Lavine, Buzz, you was right. Hey, we fathers at the end of the day, y'all. Y'all know how we do. But I was gonna say, man, like you look at Zach Lavine and you just see some of the things that he was able to do and the things that he's been doing. You got to give him credit for that. You got to
Yeah.
give him some type of credit for that. No, the Chicago Bulls don't have the best record in the NBA. No, the Chicago Bulls don't have a above 500 record. What do you want? Uncle CDubb says hi. Now go. Go.
Oh
You just
man.
playing, want a fan in, camera, get out. Hey, y'all know we fathers, but hey, Zach Lavine, he's been doing everything that you expect him to do. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he still has his flaws. Every player has a flaw, and he has his. But I will say he's been playing solid basketball for the Chicago Bulls of CDubb. I don't know if he's going to get that all-star appearance again this
Oh,
season, but I would say that he's not far off from making a solid case. He's not far off from making a solid
nephew.
case. I'm not ready to give it to him yet. I think he got some ways to go. But hey, if we keeping it a buck, it's only been 11 games played. He still got a little bit more
He still
time
got a
before we
ways.
got to make that decision.
Absolutely. He still got a ways to go. But if you was to pick the all-star team right now, I'm not saying that he get voted in into the starting lineup. Zach Lavine makes the all-star game.
Mm,
23 points per game, 52 from the field, and 42 from three. That's an all-star.
solid
Hey,
numbers.
and you ain't gotta dance around it. You ain't gotta do other stuff like that. You just say what it is. That's all-star numbers from Zach Lavine. And that ain't the only one on the team
Bro,
with the numbers like that. I'm telling you.
for real. Definitely, definitely. I mean, but shit, I think CDubb, how many games realistically do you think? Because me, I started the season off with saying that the Bulls will be at 30 games.
Uh-huh.
If Zach Lavine is healthy for, let's just say, for the rest of the season, no games missed. He is dealing with a groin injury, but let's just say he don't play the rest of the games. He might miss 5 or 6 here and there. So he's gonna
Okay.
play a lot of games. He's gonna
Yeah,
play
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of games and only miss 9 on the season.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit over 70 games.
Okay.
So are you saying that my man's Zach Lavine can help the Chicago Bulls over or reach 30 games or past that, if that makes
Um,
sense?
I'll take the over 30 games. I did tell everybody that I was gonna wait 10 games into the season
We
to
had
give
11.
a win total. We at 11. Um, I think this team as a whole, I think Lonzo will be back in a little bit. I expect him in a couple weeks to be back. Uh Within a couple weeks, not that long, but within a couple
Mm-hmm.
weeks to be back. Um I think we got some hoopers. Zach Lavine is leading the charge. He got his Robin and Kobe White, who can also get hot. I think the Bulls over 30 games.
For sure.
I think the Bulls over 30
Hey, the
games for
good
sure.
thing is he been letting Kobe eat.
You be letting him Kobe
When
eat.
it's time for Kobe to eat, Kobe eat.
Yeah. Like I think it was a time in that third quarter where he didn't take a shot in like 5 minutes while he
He
was
was
on the floor.
chilling.
He was
Let the
chilling.
guys
So
eat.
he ain't forcing it, bro. What's the possibility he stays in Chicago? He already got the bag. It's a
Hey,
big possibility, bro.
I mean, hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. You've been saying that for the better part of a year now.
Ain't that the perfect construction of a roster for a guy like Zach Lavine who can score at all three levels? As long as he continue to get better on defense and probably he don't even got to improve his ball handling. Just pick and choose when you want to handle the ball, Zach.
For sure.
And be careful. I think it's a perfect place for Zach.
All right, so I'm gonna add this on before we move on. If Zach want to stay with Vooch playing like this, you cool with him staying?
I ain't say all that. I ain't say all that. He doing his thing, but I ain't say all that,
Bro
bro.
said I ain't say all that. Chill.
We talking about Zach. I know they the last couple letters off the alphabet, but we talking about the Z letter, not the V letter.
On
Z.
the real, for sure. But hey, y'all let us know your thoughts and everything down below that we discussed. And matter of fact, go ahead and answer it now. If Zach elects to stay, Would y'all want Nikola Vucevic
He trying to
today?
sneak it in. This
Let us
nigga.
know. Let us
He's
know. I'm
slick,
just
bro.
saying. I'm just saying. Now, tonight, the Chicago Bulls, they're gonna face off against the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks, um, they come in as a decent team. They got Carl Anthony Towns giving them about 24 and 12 rebounds every single night, with Jalen Brunson and giving them about 25 and 7 assists per night. And when you talk about all the perimeter defenders that they got, and
Yeah,
OG Anunoby, my goodness, I seen him lock down the Bucks by himself. CDubb.
yeah.
The Bucks by himself. Oh, y'all want me to stick Dame? All right, we're gonna lock that down. Y'all want me to move over to Giannis? All right, we're gonna lock that down. Oh, y'all gonna bring in some bench players, Bobby Portis? Yeah, we're gonna lock that down too. My goodness, it was nasty
Yeah,
and this was a few games ago, but I thought it was a hell of an effort from OG.
yeah.
But CDubb, I ask you this: how you feeling about this matchup versus the New York Knicks, bro?
The Knicks is interesting. I didn't believe in this team when they made this trade for Cat. I still do not. I don't like Cat at the 5, although they got some very strong perimeter defenders, discounting Jalen Brunson, of course. Um, I think this is a bad matchup for the Bulls on the perimeter, just because our ball handling isn't top tier. This is going to be a very important game for Josh Giddey, and we have had maybe half our games where we had 20 turnovers, which is the games we lost.
Yep.
And this is a team where you're going to have strong ball handlers. And throughout the season, we haven't had great ball handling from our guards, all included Kobe Zach, Josh Giddey, and Ayo Dusumu. This is a bad matchup, but the Bulls, they can score with anybody. I don't think the New York Knicks scare anybody when it comes to defense. They can score with anybody. Um, it's going to come down to who can make the most stops, and I think the Bulls can make enough stops because they have these little 2 minute, 5 minutes spurs where they stick some good defense. The Bulls at times they'll get 3 or 4 or 5 stops in a row. All we need is a couple of those occurrences for the Bulls, and I think we can beat this team. But I'm worried about our ball handling, nephew. I'm worried about it.
I respect that. I'm definitely a bit wary on that when it comes to the ball handling. And I think that when you go against the New York Knicks, you know what you're gonna get out of them. They're gonna come in, they're gonna play hard, they're gonna show grit, they're gonna show toughness. And it's gonna be whether the Chicago Bulls can match their toughness or exceed their toughness. If you come in as a tougher team and you set the tone early, hey, it is what it is. CDubb, I tell you one lineup that I love. I love any lineup that Billy Donovan trots out there with Dalen Terry and Julian Phillips on the
Yes.
same side at the same time. The
Mm.
damn defense, when they come in at the same time and playing the same minutes, it just be ridiculous. Now I know you got to worry about the offensive side because Dalen Terry, he kind of seems like he wants to facilitate a bit more than you would like to. Um, and Julian Phillips, the man, corner three, we seen glimpses of him being consistent from there. I hope that he can establish themselves there. But I say the Chicago Bulls got some tools that they can use. It's just gonna be a matter of them, really. And we seen, I think all 4 wins, the Chicago Bulls take care of the ball. All 4 losses, over 20 turnovers for the Chicago Bulls. I know it's definitely was like that in the earlier parts of the season. I checked the stats for the last 2 later on, but as long as they take care of the basketball, they give themselves a chance to win. And I think CDubb, this is a great tune-up game to get your lick back versus the Cleveland Cavaliers that you're gonna face on Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean
Just to,
Friday, excuse me.
just to tune yourself up. And that was a great uh shout out to Dalen Terry. I think you just did right
Yes,
there.
sir.
And I just want to say, Billy, bro, don't do that again, bro. Like
What'd he do?
Dalen Terry, he had a great first half appearance in the game. And then in the second half, Billy Donovan decides to trot out THT,
Stupid.
and THT proceeded to play 1 minute of the absolute worst basketball of the
Bro, I'm in
season
that
from a
bitch
Chicago Bull.
like I'm getting my massage. Like, what we doing? What we doing?
Like, bro, why? And then after the 1 minute, you proceed to put Dalen Terry in. So, what was the meaning of that, Billy Donovan?
Exactly.
Please do not try to discourage a player that has been playing pretty well for the last 2 or 3 weeks. Dalen Terry is turned into a different player. He is a factor on the court. He's just not a chicken with his head cut off running around the court. He actually has purpose what he does on the court. And
Facts.
Billy, do not try to ruin this kid with dumb moves like that, like you did yesterday, bro.
For sure. I agree with that 100%. I think that Billy Donovan, he needs to be consistently good. Um, we know that my man's come up short a lot, but hey, it is what it is. This is the
Yeah,
coach we got, and he ain't going nowhere no time soon. Ain't no need to call for his firing. Ain't no need to call for. Ain't
bro.
no need to call for anything. Billy Donovan is gonna be on that sideline, and we just hope that we can get the. Cause Billy Donovan, we'll keep it a buck. Y'all know we gonna keep it a buck on this side. He had his games to where he coach a hell of a game, but he
Yeah,
also has his games to where you like Billy. What are
he
you
incomplete.
doing, bro? Was the flavor of the gum not registering today? What are we doing, big dog? But hey,
he,
CDubb, you know we got to put it on wax over here on Shy Bulls podcast. Put it on wax. Who you got winning?
I'm the Homer
Come on,
Homer's
man.
nephew. I'm the Homer's nephew. Bulls win by 5. Let's go. Bulls by 5.
I'm gonna get you on that too. I think this is the Chicago Bulls. This team, at least for me, it looks like they play up to talent and they play down to talent. When you go against the New York Knicks, they will play up to the talent and they will keep the pace with the New York Knicks like they did with the Cleveland Cavs. But I do think ultimately that the Chicago Bulls get this victory today. I mean, yeah, later today, they get this victory. And I think that we keep on pushing so they can push for that lick back versus the Cleveland Cavs on Friday.
Yeah,
That's the
and
key.
New York Knicks struggling now. Don't act like
Yeah, they
they
ain't just
four
been
and
whooping
five.
shit.
Yeah, they under 500. So they gonna be thirsty for a win too. So they looking at the Bulls like it's some fresh meat. That's probably an easy victory too. So we got to come with our A game because they do got Jalen Bronson, who's probably the MVP of the playoffs last year. You got Mikal Bridges has just been trashed this year, and they got Cat out there. He can drop 50 and no problem. That's a bad matchup for Vooch. Let's see how Vooch
I
does with
think
that.
Vooch gonna be all right.
You
I'm gonna
think
be
so?
watching.
It's gonna be
I'm gonna
interesting.
be
I
watching.
think he gonna be bringing Vooch out to the perimeter. It's gonna be
He
tough.
is. You right about that. He
You
will.
might want to put
But I
P
think Vooch
Will
gonna
on him.
be able to take some advantage with how he been playing in the paint.
Oh, he gonna take Cat ain't good, ain't decent in the post,
So
bro.
it's gonna be nip and tuck between those two,
Yeah,
in
we
my
gonna
opinion.
see. It's interesting matchups on the court, man.
For
Some
sure.
tough ones for our perimeter guys though. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be
For
tough.
sure. For sure. Well, that is it from us today, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know your thoughts and everything down below. CDubb, you got anything left?
Hey man, y'all keep showing up for them live calls. We gonna keep bringing them out. Let's get it, man. Chicago up. See red. I was about to say that.
On the real, fuck the Bears. They ain't got
Chicago
their
up.
stuff
See
in order.
red.
We heard, we heard. But that is it, ladies and gentlemen. If y'all want to call in and be a part of our mailbag episode, you can call in and do so. If you call in, I'm gonna make sure you get Sitchy. Hit the number 773-242-9219. Hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe on your way out. Make sure you always see red as well. And y'all already know we gonna catch y'all on the next one for sure. We got it.
Cognac. Gang.